Hi everyone, my name is Amber Gonzalez, and today I'm going to be sharing my post reflection on my dual language program review. I focused on understanding how dual language learners are supported at the school that I volunteer at, how students are identified as English learners, and the different programs that are available. And also, I learned about what the review processes look like. My goal for this review was to get a better understanding of how dual language learners are actually supported in a real school setting within my school district. I wanted to understand the different systems behind dual language learner identification and what early language support looks like, and how the curriculum and program options help students develop both languages, not just one over the other. One of the first things that I looked at was the student demographic data for Linda Vista Elementary School. The school is very diverse. It is 44.6 Hispanic. It is 23.6% white, and Asian, African American, Filipino, um, and Native American students make up the rest of the population of the students. This data shows how important it is to have a strong dual language development program because many of the students come from households where languages other than English are spoken. The next piece of information I looked at was the home language survey provided by the California Department of Education. This is the first screening tool families have to fill out when they enroll their child into a school. If the families answer certain questions, such as questions 1, 2, and 4, these questions say, which language did your child learn when they first began to talk? Which language does your child most frequently speak at home? And which language is most often spoken by adults in the home? Um, then the student is flagged to take the initial LPAC. The survey helps the school identify whether a child might be an English learner before they even enter the classroom, and this ensures students get the support they need right away instead of waiting until a potential challenge appears later down the line. For the transitional kindergarten curriculum, I reviewed the district's English language development curriculum. Benchmark Advance is the main English language development program designed to support English literacy development for all students. It aligns with the standards and it includes different routines for vocabulary, speaking, reading, and writing. Benchmark Adelante is the biliteracy program. It's pretty similar to Benchmark Advance, but it's designed for Spanish speaking students and it supports cross languaging transfer. I found it really interesting that these two programs are meant to work together. So students build skills from one language and reinforce them in the other. Linda Vista Elementary School offers three main types of programs for dual language learners. The first is the LPAC, the English Language Proficiency Assessment of California. So this includes the initial and summative assessments used to determine English proficiency levels. The students have to take this within 30 days of enrollment if the home language survey indicates there's a home language besides English. The second is instruction, where English learners receive targeted English language development instruction that is catered to their proficiency level with English. This is usually given by teachers with specific training or specific certification for teaching dual language learners. The third program is the biliteracy program option. This supports the Spanish speaking students in developing literacy and academic language in both Spanish and English. The families can choose between different instructional models. There's the 80-20% model, 50-50, or the 90-10 model. Each of the models increase English exposure at different rates. Prior to this research, I didn't know families had this much choice, or even that there was different models that existed within the San Diego Unified School District. So, to complete my review, I did a deep dive on the school's demographic and program data online. I researched English language development policies and assessments. I reviewed Linda Vista Elementary School's program descriptions. I analyzed the TK curriculum for dual language learner support, and I researched the biliteracy and dual language options. Some of the biggest key findings was learning how early the district starts supporting dual language learners. The identification begins with enrollment, and the LPAC makes sure that students are placed appropriately based on their proficiency. I also learned how intentional the transitional kindergarten curriculum is with cross languaging and scaffolding. Another big important piece of information was how much of a choice families have in selecting a language pathway for their dual language learners' development. I also learned that dual language development programs begin at transitional kindergarten. Um, I also realized how important it is to be culturally and linguistically responsive with instruction. And I also learned that within the San Diego Unified School District, that teachers have to, as in it's a requirement to support the home language and not just English. So some new questions that I have includes how do families choose between the different models like the 80-20%, the 50-50, or the 90-10? Another question is how well are families informed of students' dual language development? And lastly, who decides the rate that the English language is used more as they transition through the different models? And does this differentiate per child or is it just set within a specific grade? This review helped me gain a better understanding of the system of dual language learner support in the schools of my district. It also reinforced why dual language development is so important, especially for a community that's very diverse, such as mine. I also feel super prepared as a future educator in the San Diego Unified School District because I now understand the different pathways, resources, and assessments that are available. I also learned about new resources that can help me support dual language learners in a culturally responsive and meaningful way. Thank you so much for watching.